Dear distinguished guests, dear Gennady, my friend and colleague, I'm sorry I cannot be with you at today's forum. As you know, the future of Ukraine and how we as business people can help during this crisis has been a priority for me since the start of the Russian war of aggression against Ukraine. As president of the Employers Group in the European Economic and Social Committee, which represents more than 20 million European companies of all sizes and of all industries, I want first of all to give you the assurance that with the Employers Group, you have a partner who is ready and willing to continue to be your voice in Brussels. You should look at us as your extended family. Since the beginning of Russia's unjustifiable invasion of Ukraine, the EESC's Employers Group and the Ukrainian Chamber of Commerce and Industry have been working together closely. Indeed, already 1 month after the war had started, Gennady was physically present in our Employers Group meeting in Brussels. Based on these exchanges, we have undertaken various joint initiatives throughout the last year, also in cooperation with the European Business Association and the Union of Ukrainian Entrepreneurs. One of the joint initiatives we undertook was a call to the Commission to provide urgent help for Ukrainian SMEs. The joint letter stressed that Ukrainian businesses need to be saved now to be able to act as a driver of reconstruction after the war. In his reply, European Commission Executive Vice President Dombrovskis underlined his support to Ukrainian SMEs and his appreciation for the initiative. We have now continued the exchange to make sure that also in 2023, support measures for Ukrainian SMEs will be prolonged and enhanced. This example describes well what role the Employers Group can play in Ukrainians' reconstruction process. You, as our Ukrainian partners, have the know-how on what is needed for Ukrainian businesses to survive and to rebuild your country. Through our cooperation, we can bring your calls to the right places and thereby make your voice heard at an EU level. Also, in 2023, we are committed to this role and will continue to voice your concerns and needs as long as it is needed. Let me also mention our members and their organizations from all over Europe who have supported Ukraine from the very beginning on a personal and professional level. To give just one example, the organization of one of our Polish members has just launched what is known as the ZPP Business for Ukraine Center program, which supports the entry of Ukrainian companies into the Polish market. Ukraine's accession to the EU and the single market will undoubtedly be an important step for Ukraine's competitiveness, even if it will be a long process. There's a lot of empathy and I would say even positive sentiment towards Ukraine now, but at some point it will come down to the hard facts. Therefore, Ukraine has to continue to undertake the necessary reforms, especially in view of the fact that Ukraine, very importantly, now has EU candidate status. The way I see it personally, from the ruins of war, we need to seize the opportunity of taking Ukraine to a whole new level, which will result in a Ukraine with a strong and modern economy. This also leads me to the issue of setting up the required administrative structures with the necessary knowledge of how to deal with EU funds. Considerable EU money is already being directed towards Ukraine. And once the war is over, because the war will end, then Ukraine and you, the business community, will be eligible to make use of considerable amounts of funding. You must, however, build the necessary know-how and knowledge of how to tap, use and manage these funds. It is here that we, together, should seek to organize partnerships already now. To sum up, I strongly believe the business associations can be decisive in the reconstruction of Ukraine. Both the short-term and long-term success of our economies can only be built on the foundation of thriving business, comprising enterprises of different sizes, covering a wide variety of sectors and ecosystems, and operating in different markets and geographical locations. Business associations such as yours have a fundamental role in creating the right business environment. We, as employers, need to be competitive. Dear Gennady, dear all, 1 year after the war, Putin has not divided us as he would have liked, but he has in fact united Europe with Ukraine. We have strengthened, not weakened our ties, and there is now no going back. This war has reinforced our resolve to preserve peace and democracy in the world against all dictators who would want it otherwise. Your war is our war, and we will stand with Ukraine for how long and do whatever it takes. I strongly believe that the bonds being built now will outlast the war and that we will build strong, positive partnerships for many years to come. Allow me to conclude by saying, long live Europe, Slava Ukraini.